to get close to the root, I often get asked how to do this well with paper not foil. My first question to you would be, how much of the root are you colouring? So if we're only doing a tiny regrowth, we really don't need this whole piece of paper, because if I show you, there's so much, I guess, left over. So we come in with our section and we choose our big piece of paper, lift really high, pop it onto the roots, and then leave it down. But if I'm only colouring that much here, I've got all of this that I need to fold up and secure, and that gets quite heavy. So it can actually just drop down, just like any other piece of foil or plastic or mesh would as well. So the best thing you can do to try and get close to the roots is use the correct amount, the correct cutting to how much regrowth you've got. Sometimes you may only need something that size, especially, you know, if you're only doing a tiny little section. So choose your right paper and just cut the original into halves or quarters or strips. And that may change, you know, you might decide that you want to use a longer section through the bottom, and as you get closer around the hairline, you might choose to use smaller sections. Slice or weave however you like to. My favourite length is this length, finger and thumb. Elevate the hair really high, pop the paper onto the section area, leave it down, and you can see, you know, obviously with the dolly head it's harder too, but you can see that we're actually quite on scalp there. And then apply your colour just like you normally would. And again, whether it's a tiny retouch or you're coming, you know, more halfway down, whatever you desire or whatever needs done. So two ways you can do this. If you apply your colour and you think, oh, it's not probably quite as close as I wanted, just pull and leave it. So just wiggle your piece of paper up, pull down, so that you can maneuver it however you want. And if you want to, of course, apply a little bit more. But generally I find if you lift that hair really high before you put your paper in, you don't have so much of a problem afterwards. You can choose whether you want to fold that in half, and that's how it's secured. But if we're trying to get close to the roots and we're trying to minimize any slippage or moving the hair, then just grab another piece of paper and place it on top, sandwich it together, and you can keep going. It's also a lot quicker as well. Let me show you that again, but with a smaller piece, because like I said, that's still quite a lot of paper to be using in the hair for just a regrowth. So if you do that, feel, you know, at any time you can change the piece of paper that you're using. So grab your section, whether you want to slice or weave, and I'm going to use a smaller piece this time. You know, if I really wanted to, I can go right down to that size, because I'm only doing a tiny regrowth. So again, elevate really high, place your paper onto the hairline, leave it down, apply, and again, if you need to, you can adjust just by pulling on the hair and wiggling your paper around. And to stop any movement and any dragging, and also reduce the weight that's on that hair, then you can place another one directly on top. And when you continue to do that, it's just really fast. It's just like sandwich. But as you can see, for a tiny regrowth, I really don't need all of this paper, and I certainly don't need that amount. And so you can just, once you've washed them and used them, ready to use them again, you know, they do get crinkled a little bit, but just place them in their piles, in your trolley. You know, you might have short piles, medium piles, long piles, so that they're just easy to find and go.